Alright folks, so today I am going to be making a keto taco pie. So to start off with, we're just gonna season up some ground beef here, and we're just gonna chop and incorporate all of this beef and the taco seasoning mixture together. I don't like using ton of the seasoning in my meat. I just like the flavor there, but not overpowering like the packs give you, so I choose to buy it in the big shaker bottle instead, so I can incorporate it to my liking and to everyone else's as well, because it can be really overpowering if you don't do it that way. And I'm going to add a little water to this, just so we can get everything incorporated really well. So now we're just going to chop it and stir it until it browns. Alright, so now that the meat is cooking, we're going to just let it simmer and steam down the water off of it and some of the grease. Just going to let it cook out. And while it's cooking out, I've got some cauliflower rice here that I'm going to season up and put over into the air fryer to cook up for a minute. I'm just going to season it with some of that taco seasoning as well, to give it some of the taco flavoring. Not too much, just a little bit. So I'm just going to spread this out within the pan using my chop and stir. Get it all good and spread out into the pan, ready for the air fryer. And now just going to scrape it off with a chop and stir, and I'm going to grab my taco seasoning and I'm going to lightly put it all over the rice, or the cauliflower rice rather, because this is a keto friendly recipe. We can't use the real stuff. Alright, so I'm just going to put that on there like that. I'm going to grab my olive oil cooking spray and I'm just going to spray it down lightly, just to make the seasoning stick a little better and also help with the cook in the air fryer. And I'm just going to take my hands and just incorporate that seasoning in with the rice before I stick it into the air fryer. And yeah, just getting it ready, getting it prepared to go into that air fryer. Alright, now that it's ready, we're just going to set the air fryer to 23 minutes at 400, and we're just going to keep an eye on it. It might not take that long. While it's air frying and the meat is doing its thing, I'm going to mix up my cream cheese and sour cream mixture. Alright, so once again, we're just going to open this up. And then we may have to soften it for a minute in the microwave. It's been in the refrigerator. It's pretty stiff. And this brand I got from Aldi's, it's hard to open for some reason. I'm just going to have to take a knife to it to get it to come up. And that little seal doesn't come apart quite as easily as the name brand Philadelphia does. But it's good cream cheese, though. It's just a little extra effort, I guess. Alright, so now that I got all that worked out, I'm going to stick it in this microwave for about, I'll put it on 2 minutes, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. It's not going to take quite 2 minutes. But once I hear it start to pop, I know it's softened enough for my liking, so that's what I listen for. And then we just check on our rice while we're over here, and yeah, it still needs a little more cook time, so we're gonna just let it continue to cook a little longer. Alright, so now that I got my cream cheese softened up, I'm going to add my sour cream to it. And we're just going to add a little bit more of the taco seasoning that we've been using to the cream cheese because it's going to give it a different flavor. And once again, I'm using Aldi's brand sour cream. I'm using the larger size tub for this one. Because we got a lot. Well, that pan's pretty big and we got a lot to spread out. So I'm just going to use the whole thing along with that cream cheese. Alright, there we go. Looks good. Now I'm just going to add in the taco seasoning. I'm going to add a pretty good amount because it takes a good bit, and I'm going to use a little habanero sauce, and I almost grabbed the really hot one. This one's got a mild flavor, so I'm going to add it, so the family can still eat it and not get their tongues burnt, because this one doesn't have any burn to it like the one I almost put in there. That would have been tragic, but luckily for me, I'm paying attention. So now we're just gonna stir and mix to combine and incorporate all those flavors together. I could use my hand mixer to cream it up, but I like a little bit of chunkiness to the cream cheese to remain within it, so I'm just going to mix it with a spoon by hand, and that should be good enough to incorporate everything, so I can add it to our taco pie in a little while. Alright, that's looking good. Now we got our casserole dish set to the side, so now it is time to grab some lard. I'm using the last of the lard in that small container, and I got a big container of it sitting to the other side that I have not opened yet. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to open it. That this may not be enough to do all the shells, but it's enough to get us started. So I'm going to use that up first. There we go. Now we just let it melt. Alright, now that it's almost all the way melted, we're going to grab some of our shells here. For some reason, I did not show the shells that I'm using right off the bat, but I will show them in a minute. Don't worry. They are the new jalapeno queso shells that they came out with. The carb counter shells. They are different from the mission that I normally use, but they are bigger, and they're going to serve a purpose for the Mexican style dish that we're having now with the jalapeno and queso baked into the shell already. So the object here is to make our pie crumbs, or if you can think of like a Frito pie, that is what I'm going for here. Kind of like a Frito pie, but it's going to be taco style, so we're going to call it taco pie. Keto taco pie. I'm just poking it with a fork, scoring a little bit so it don't puff up too bad. Doesn't matter if it puffs up some, because in a minute we are going to crumble it up in that dish anyway, kind of the way Fritos are crumbled up when you make a Frito pie. We're just going to do the other side to keep it from puffing up as well. Hold it down with a spatula, and it doesn't take very long to get these things to crisp up. And they don't really crisp up like a chip. They kind of taste like a pie shell anyway, so that's why I come up with the name taco pie. Alright, there you go. Queso jalapeno carb counter. And they got 1 net carb per shell, so I think I'm up to my third shell now. So as you can see in the casserole dish, they spread out pretty good because they're a larger size shell. Actually, they're not the largest you can buy. They're like a medium size compared to the street taco size that I have been using in my recipes all week. So we're just going to continue to cook this one until it crisps up, and that should be enough. Well, maybe one or two more, because I'm going to want a lot of shells in there. I might try to incorporate some of the Mission tomato basil, the smaller shells in there as well, just to add some filler in there. I think that's what I'll do after I get done chopping and breaking these up. And honestly, it's just hot right now, but they're actually better to break up by hand. What I discovered, they break up pretty good. You know, when you're folding them, they just crisp apart. So they work out really well, I think, for this application for the taco pie that I am making here. And since it is hot, I just figured I'd work on it with that chopping stir because it really breaks things up pretty good. I like this tool. It is a must-have for your kitchen for sure. Alright, so now I got all the shells and I'm just going to try one out, and boy, they're good. They're so good fried up on their own. They make an hors d'oeuvre all by themselves, I assure you of that. Last one, and those are just the small tomato basils made by Mission. There you go. Looking good so far. Alright, so my rice mixture is done, and I'm going to just put it down first. I don't have a lot of it, just a small pan, so I'm going to put it down with the shells. I really don't even know if it's going to make a difference in this dish, but you know, I figured I'd give it a good try and see how it does in there, and it looks like it's going to do pretty good. Since we can't have actual Spanish rice, we will just kind of create our own. That was the idea behind using the cauliflower rice to season it to make it work within this dish and incorporate that flavor, the taco flavor, the same as the meat and everything else. And I'm here to tell you, the cream cheese mixture takes on a different flavor altogether, mixed with the taco seasoning. It doesn't really interfere with the rest of the dish at all. In fact, it enhances it. It enhances it big time in a big way. It's a must-have in this dish. I've made stuff similar to this before and just used it as a dip for regular shells, or you know, you can crush up your shells, put them on bottom, kind of the way a Frito pie is made. Now that we got our rice down, we're just going to add our beef mixture on top of the rice and spread it out on top. Shouldn't take long, and I'm going to use the whole pan. It spreads out good. Spreads out really good, actually. And Tracy's coming to give it a look. I'm making him hungry with all the smell coming from the kitchen, and trust me, he's gonna eat some too. We all are. Alright, we're almost there. Almost there. Alright, now it is time for the cream cheese mixture, and this is the tricky part. I always have trouble with this part because when you try to spread it, the meat wants to fold up around the bottom of it. What I should have done here was made some more shells, but them shells are full of fiber, y'all. Full of fiber, and if you eat way too many of them, what winds up happening is you get a lot of bathroom coming your way, and it can, clog up the pipes with too much fiber. So, I didn't want to do that, but that would have totally worked in this situation. If you can handle that type of thing without it bothering you, go right ahead. Cook up some shells, add them as a layer on top of the meat, and it should work really well to help spread this even and more better, And honestly, it doesn't matter if a little bit of the meat gets mixed in with the cream cheese, because in order to spread it, sometimes, you just got to put up with that if you're doing it this way. I'm trying to save on some more calories and, less fiber in the dish, because we've already got enough with the shells that are on the bottom. So we definitely want to be careful not to add way too much. So that is why I'm not putting them on here, but you just kind of roll a spoon. Now, when you go to spread it, the meat mixture is going to come through a little bit, but it's not going to hurt the dish whatsoever, because we got a couple of more layers of things to add to this yet. We still got to add lettuce. We still got to add some cheese and some salsa and some more cheese. And I'm going to spread this off camera real quick, and you will see how the beef kind of incorporates in there once you get to really working on it. There's really not much you can do about it. I suppose I could have warmed this up, got it a lot creamier, and it would have went on there better, and I could have refrigerated it to get the stuff stiff, but I wanted it kind of warm when I served it, because that is the way we like it. So I'm just doing the best I can with it. Alright, now that we got that all spread out, it is time to add the lettuce layer. And this is a new fresh bag of lettuce, and I'm not going to use the whole bag, just enough to really give the taste of a lettuce in here, because this is like a pie, and it's really optional whether you want to use the lettuce or not. I like it in there. I like it in there, and so does the family, so we're going to use a little bit of lettuce here. And that's just about enough right there. I think so. Now it's time to add some cheese. You don't want to use all your cheese right here. You want to add some more later, but you want to get it incorporated on top of that lettuce, because this whole thing is about the cheese and the meat and the shells at the bottom, and the cream cheese mixture. It is so good. I assure you, if you've never tried a dish similar to this, this is the way to go. Adding the shells to the bottom of it, I promise you, you will not regret it. Now, another thing I don't want to go crazy with is the salsa either. So I'm just going to blotch it on there, and then I'm going to take a small spatula and I'm going to spread it out, and I'm going to add and spread as needed. But I want to get like a pretty good thin layer of this stuff all over the top of the lettuce and that cheese that I just put down, and that's where that cheese comes in handy. It helps to because the cheese sticks together pretty well, and it helps to spread that out. Maybe next time I'll add a layer of cheese over the beef and try that. That may work. Yeah, next time that's what I'll do. So this is a work in progress for me, but nonetheless, this is going to be a huge success. I could tell before I even took my first bite that I was just going to absolutely love it. Like I said, I made similar dishes like this in the past, but it was just mainly a dip to dip the already crunchy shells into. So yeah, and there you go. Just paint it on. Just paint it on. That's all you need right there. And then it's time to add the rest of the cheese, just like that. That's plenty enough salsa. You don't want to add too much because it can be overpowering. You want to add just enough to have the taste of salsa in there without overpowering the entire dish. Now, you can take this and heat it in the oven if you choose to make it all warm or hot, you know, kind of like a lasagna, but I opt not to do that. Once I get this layer of cheese on, this dish is going to be ready to eat just as it is, and this is the way that I was taught to make it, so this is going to be the end of it as soon as I get the rest of this cheese on. And you know, I'm using sharp cheddar. That's the cheese I prefer. And yeah, I can tell you I love the taste of that sharp cheddar. I'll tell you what, that last little chunk of it is mine to have my way with. Alright, so there is your presentation. Look at this thing. Look at that. Boy, does that look good or what? All this stuff needs is a paper plate. You can take some more shells and add it to it and make it like a little street taco, or if you prefer crunchy tacos, you could do that. Yeah, if you're not doing keto, that is. But since we're doing keto, we're just going to eat it. Spoon it out of the dish and we're going to eat it. My wife is passing me the spoon. She's on the other side of me. Got hers ready. Now it's my turn. My turn. Alright, so there we go. We're going to get us 2 big old scoops of it. That's scoop number 1. There's the shells coming off the bottom. You want to scoop all the way to the bottom of the pan. Make sure you get it all out. Get it all out. There's some more shell. Yeah. Now we ain't got nothing left to do but give it a try. And I'm telling you what, this is a hit. If I ain't never seen one, this is so good. Those shells taste just like a pie. Just like a jalapeno queso pie. Like a taco pie. Alright, folks. Till tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.